passing yards. No, excuse me, not even 47 total passing yards, but 47 total yards in general. You know what? What type of offensive genius did we hire in 2018? Where the hell did you go? Matt Nagy, I'm surprised you didn't get fired on Monday morning. Everybody on ESPN was talking about you. I've given myself a 3-day break just to go ahead and prepare for this video. But damn it, I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing the Chicago Bears lose. I thought I was looking at the New York Jets out there, and the Jets could have done better than that against the Cleveland Browns. You gotta be kidding me. Listen, 9 sacks allowed by this offensive line. That's all I gotta say about that. 9 offensive sacks allowed by this offensive line. Jason Peters, I don't know what the hell you were doing on Sunday, but I got nothing else to say about you. You did a terrible job protecting Justin from Myles Garrett. Did a terrible job. You gave up 4 sacks to Myles Garrett, mind you. Actually, no, make that 4.5. I got nothing else to say about this. Jermaine Ifedi, these false starts and you jumping and making the offense sacrifice 5 yards, it's got to go. Honestly, if anything, I say we should clean the entire house to the offensive line. Because I don't know what got into the offensive line on Sunday, but man, they were piss poor protecting the young rookie back there. And speaking of Justin Fields, none of the receivers were getting wide open during the game. And not to mention, with this offensive line, which only allowed like a split second of giving Justin Fields the opportunity to throw the ball down the field, that's not going to help you win football games, isn't it? No, it's not going to help you win football games. But this goes into the next thing right here, right? With Justin Fields, he completed 6 of 20. He was 6 of 20 with completions, had 68 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, took 9 sacks and lost 67 passing yards because of that. And his passer rating was a 41.3. Now, I already went over the nine sacks, but let me just say this. This was the single worst offensive game I've ever seen in my lifetime as a Bears fan. And I know the Bears had a worse offensive game here in the 1980s, but this is flat out ridiculous. With those 9 sacks that the Bears gave up, the Bears in total, you know what, this is going to make y'all laugh. In total, the Bears had one total passing yard in the entire game. Just 1. Because guess what? All of those sacks that accumulated against Justin Fields, that made him lose a lot of passing yardage. And guess what? In reality, the Bears only had 1 passing yard. David Montgomery only had 34 rushing yards, and it seemed like Matt Nagy just didn't know what the hell he was doing. Justin Fields only ran 3 times in the game. He only had 12 yards. And then David Montgomery, not to mention for the 10 carries for 34 yards, that's not going to win you football games. And I'm not blaming David Montgomery for that. But only giving David Montgomery the ball 10 times in the game? What happened to, you know what, hey, Matthew, what happened to, I don't know, running the football this year? You promised that, hey, we're going to run the football this year because guess what? That's going to make our offense a little better. And I agree. Running the football for most offenses makes the offense run much more efficiently. So it will make it better. But I thought I was looking at the New York Jets out there with your play calling, Matt. First off, I got one question. Who the hell runs a jet sweep with a tight end? Can anyone tell me that? Who the hell runs a jet sweep with a tight end? Who the hell does a halfback draw? Who the hell does a draw play on a 2nd and 20 and only gets 3 yards with that? That's Matt Nagy. And you know what? Matt Nagy, I can't believe I'm about to say this. You reached a terrible level of coaching. You know what? You remind me of Rich Kotite. And for those of you who don't know who the hell Rich Kotite is, then go look him up. He went 4-7. He went 4-27 as a New York Jets head coach. And guess what? Matt Nagy, although he's not bad record-wise with the Bears, his play calling is really representing a Rich Kotite. And then not to mention, we are in the same situation as the Jets had last year with Adam Gase. Because Adam Gase was a terrible play caller. And these type of play calls, these check downs on third down to the tight end for only 4 yards and not throwing the ball deep down the field, what do you want me to say? And you know what? While we're on this topic, I never thought I'd say this, but concerning the offensive line, Charles Leno, I miss you. I really do. Your holding calls, they are severely missed. You did give up a lot of sacks and everything, and you did give up a lot of pressures. But that was completely terrible by Jason Peters yesterday. And speaking of which, what I heard a story a few days ago that Juan Castillo, offensive line head coach for the Bears, basically called up number 71, Jason Peters, from retirement, mind you. And Jason Peters was fishing, and guess what? He was on the phone and he called Jason Peters, and he told him, come on, let's go ahead and play another year. That's not how you win football games. And then not to mention, this left tackle, Jason Peters, is 40 years old. What happens when you put a 40-year-old left tackle against one of the best defensive linemen in the league in Myles Garrett? Huh? Please tell me what happens. Guess what? It's a bad game plan. Because guess what? Myles Garrett made short, easy work out of Jason Peters. And then Jermaine Fetty, him going up against Jadeveon Clowney, the same thing. You know what? I don't know what else to say about this. The offense did completely terrible against the Browns on Sunday. I got nothing else to say about the offense. Receiving wise, since the Bears only had 68 total receiving yards throughout the entire game, Robinson was the leading receiver with 2 receptions and 27 yards. That's bad. That's honestly bad. Jimmy Graham didn't even catch a ball yesterday. Cole Kmet only caught 1 ball. This is a very suspect offense. I thought, you know what? I never thought I'd even say this, but I thought I could have run a much better offensive game plan than what Matt Nagy put off on Sunday. I honestly do not know what the hell he was even doing on Sunday. It seemed as though he was doing this on purpose to make Justin Fields be on the bench, or he really came in with a lackluster game plan and not playing to Justin Fields' strength. What else do you want me to say about the offense? It was atrocious. If the grade F-minus existed, then I would give the offense an F-minus. It was that goddamn bad. And then Cleveland, look at this. Cleveland on the offensive side of the ball, look at this. They give up 5 sacks. And look at this. Baker Mayfield, he didn't have the best game in the world. He was 19 of 31, 246 passing yards, 1 touchdown, took 5 sacks, lost 43 yards because of those 5 sacks, but a 97.0 passer rating. So he had a solid game despite taking all those sacks. And then not to mention the rushing attack. Nick Chubb, 22 carries, 84 yards. Kareem Hunt, 10 carries, 81 yards, 1 touchdown. It's like everybody contributed to the run game in Cleveland. And I'm not saying that the Bears did a terrible job defensively, but when your offense is only having 47 total yards in the game, and then not to mention going 3 and out damn near every time, then the defense was destined to get tired. And the defense did all right. They did all right in this game, even despite giving up 26 points. Roquan had a pretty solid game with 10 total tackles. Eddie Jackson had 6 tackles. Hey, Khalil Mack had two sacks on the day, so major props to him. Robert Quinn had 2 sacks on the day, so major props to him. Akeem Hicks, he did his job. He had a tackle for a loss. So the defense was doing their job. The offense could not do their job because they had a terrible offensive line. They did not know how to go with a proper game plan. And literally, Matt Nagy sucks as a head coach. I never thought I'd even say this, but Mark Trestman, I miss you. John Fox, I miss you. Lovie Smith, I miss you. Dick Jauron, I miss you. Those former head coaches who I just named right now, I miss you over Matt Nagy, and I hope you would have came back for this game. It was that damn bad. And I can't even believe that I wasted 3 hours throughout my day watching this horrendous offense take the field. I'm surprised that the Bears scored 6 points in this game. The fact that the Bears gave up more sacks instead of scoring, you know what I'm saying. Despite the fact that the Bears gave up more sacks instead of scoring more points, it's really impressive to me. But this really showed me that Matt Nagy is not an elite play caller, and I really expect an immediate dismissal throughout the season. I expect for him to get fired, and I've grown done with Matt Nagy. This offensive juggernaut, this offensive genius, he's got to go. He's got to go. And Justin Fields needs to have a new offensive coordinator. Well, not even a new offensive coordinator, but just a new head coach. Get Matt Nagy out of Chicago. Please. He is just that damn bad of a head coach. Oh, and then not to mention Myles Garrett. Defensively for Myles Garrett, he had one hell of a game. And you know what? Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he wins the Defensive Player of the Year. He had 4.5 sacks, 7 total tackles, 4 tackles for loss. He had 6 QB hits. And look at this. After the game, guess what he was saying? He said that, oh, I'm surprised what type of offense the Bears are running. It was easy money. And guess what? I agree with Myles Garrett. And this was just a terrible game. And I hope that I hope these type of games never come back to us. Because, man, I've grown a headache. But I am expecting an immediate dismissal from Matt Nagy right after the season ends, no matter if we make the playoffs or not. So I've grown tired. I've grown tired of this organization. I've grown tired of Nagy. I've grown tired of Pace. I've grown tired of George McCaskey, the president. I've grown tired of Ted Phillips, the assistant president. I've grown tired of everybody. I've grown tired of everybody who's running this organization. And it seems like the Bears are not trying to win. I've got nothing else to say here, guys. I'm really tired. But if I got one more thing to say right now, it's this. Literally, if I am Virginia McCaskey, I would call Matt Nagy up to her desk. I would call Matt Nagy up to my desk, and I would say this: Matt Nagy, you're fired! I've grown sick of this. But anyways, if you like this video, I would like for you guys to go ahead and leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I will see you guys later. I honestly do not feel confident in Matt Nagy. I do not feel confident in the Bears. And I won't be surprised if the Bears lose to the Lions this weekend. Goodbye.